here. Samantha, the more we hear, the worse it looks for Nicholas Brooks. We've got the Sylvie's wet sock with his DNA on the outside. It's looking bad, don't you agree?
It's looking really bad. I mean, her socks, her wet socks with her DNA on the inside, Nicholas Brooks' DNA on the outside, were found on the other side of the room. I mean, come on. This is insane. This guy is an animal, and I can't wait till he gets into jail for the rest of his life because prisoners don't take too kindly to men who murder women. He's going to get his.
Attorney Ann Peyton Bryant is here with us for an update on today's testimony. She supports Sylvie's family. She was in the courtroom. Peyton, what did you see today?
Today, we learned that an investigator from the DA's office who took the internet history of Sylvie's computer found that in the days and hours, even hours before she died, there were several hits to Escort sites.
Well, wait a minute. I want to repeat this. Sylvie died the early morning of the hours of September 9th. Is that correct? And then we have someone on her computer looking at escorts, prostitution websites, the night of the 8th. Is that right, Peyton?
It's actually December 8th, 2010, and the hits were on both December 1st and then again on December 8th. You see it at about 6:40 and then again at 8:40. And we know from other testimony that she was really, really upset about finding out that he used prostitutes. And from what I can see, it certainly appears that that evening this was a major issue between them.
Jenny, I see you having a little apoplectic fit. I laid this one out there just for you. Have at it, Jenny.
Listen, of course I'm having an apoplectic fit. I mean, the whole situation is tragic and awful on both sides of it. This was such an uber dysfunctional relationship, Dr. Drew. You have this sensational girl who's got such promise and such a future in it with this monster who then she's also making him do things like write apology letters after she finds him looking for hookers and going to hooker. I mean, the whole thing it's a disaster, and then he kills her.
Well, interestingly, what I've got, I want you, if you guys at the control room can cut for me to the text we have, if we can get to that. Because we actually have some text where Sylvie herself, here we go. Here she is struggling herself, saying, I know I'm doing the right thing, but it's hard when I need and want to take care of him. I don't even think he loved me. Then she goes on to say something even sort of more, there it is. I'm in sick. What I think she says, I am sick. Letting him come over, so mad at myself, started crying. Peyton, was this in court today? This all came out today, is that correct?
Those are just two of many, many text messages that one of her very best friends were going back and forth between her and the days and months before this relationship ended so tragically, and it was really heartfelt. Her friend actually began to cry. It appears that she was the last person to send Sylvie a message or hear from her, and she just had this emotional struggle to leave this relationship. It was really very emotional today to hear her testify.
Mark, I want to get to you before I unleash Samantha and Jenny again. This looks bad from a legal standpoint, right? Why aren't they making a plea deal?
Well, sometimes they don't offer anything, or what they offer is not a plea deal, but more of an ultimatum, a declaration of war, as I call it sometimes when I don't like what they're offering. These text messages further support my theory that this was codependency between the two.
Oh, for sure.
When somebody drops a bowling ball on their foot and the other person yells, ouch, it's typically found in relationships between people who are users, addicts like him, and someone there who feels like it's their mission to support them in spite of their prostitution and their drug addiction and all the other things that go along with that.
I'm going to give Samantha and Jenny last word. Samantha, go.
I want to hear your expert opinion really quickly, Dr. Drew, on why you think she felt the need to take care of him, almost like he was a little child.
Well, it's often something that sometimes it can just happen. It can just be the right alchemy of two people, but oftentimes has how we fit in our relationships with our parents. There's a book called Women Who Love Too Much. There's a book called Overcoming Love Addiction. You can learn about these things there. Codependent No More. It's all very similar territory, and those are lay books that can help people understand these kinds of topics. Jenny, finish us up.
Yeah, listen, you always sort of poke fun at me that you learn a lot, but I get it. I've liked guys and cared about guys. It just didn't warrant my affections and certainly didn't warrant my compassion. Thankfully,
Jenny?
I got out.
Well,
But-
I'm going to say it's normal for a teenage girl, an 18 to 22-year-old.
Yes,
I've met
yes.
your husband. You've done good. You've
love
got out of
him.
that
He's
pattern.
phenomenal.
But
Yes,
that's the
but
point. It's not normal for a
it's so
grown woman
sad.
to be continue to
Of
do
course
this, and that's what Mark's talking about there.